beautiful people. Welcome back. Welcome to my channel. Happy Thursday. Could barely remember the day. We are here to discuss my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2024 that I am most looking forward to. But if you would like to stay on a little longer after I go over my top 10, I will then just be going over some 2024 releases that I am looking forward to. And as you guys know, I do not watch previews. I love to go into movies as blind as possible. So I will be here with you going over the upcoming movies and showing you how I get hyped and excited and get my list ready for what I want to watch without watching previews. Now, my preferred way to watch movies is to simply look at the movie poster, genre, watch the movie. Like literally, I don't even want to know the synopsis. I just feel like I have the best experiences going into movies as blind as possible. But there is another way, which obviously I am using for my YouTube channel. And if I didn't have a channel, it would just be as little as possible. But so what I basically do is I look at the movie poster, the genre, the synopsis, and that pretty much will give me a yay or nay on if I want to watch it. But if that's not enough, or if I just want a little more information, I'll look at the director, the writer, their previous work, the cast. But I really don't like to go more than that. And I even avoid like certain articles and information when movies are in production or post-production and stuff like that, because I just don't want too much information. I personally don't. I want to go into the movie as blind as possible. Now, if you're not really a stickler for spoilers and it doesn't matter how much is revealed, then obviously that's something different for you. But I know a big complaint for me and a lot of audiences these days is the fact that trailers give away the entire movie. Like, you will get beginning, middle, end, plot, like twist, everything. And I absolutely hate that. So this is my way of going into movies as blind as possible, but still being able to know what's coming up and to get excited for what is coming up. Not y'all. We gonna do this live a little. Well, first of all, my setup is a little different, but also I was trying to get my slides together. I'm working on, being a better content creator. When I tell y'all, okay, so I'm supposed to be doing my upcoming 2024 movies top 10 and then my top 10 upcoming TV shows. I was working on the slides for both of those lives, I swear before God, for 13 hours. For 13 hours, and I am still not done. And I was this close to canceling this live, but I said, you know what? They just gonna get this half done work. Y'all gonna just get the half done work, okay? Hold on. My setup a little different. My mic was further, so I hope y'all could hear what I was saying. Because my mic was a little further than normal. Hey, Danny. Hey, pretty girl. Thank you for showing up to the live. And yes, if y'all are in the live, make sure you hit the like button. Now, let's just first. Okay, so we're going to just get the half done work. And really, you'll see it the most. I did a lot of work on the slides for the upcoming TV shows, but it was also simultaneously getting the slides together and getting my notes together, because I needed to make notes for each movie so I can have all the information for the movie. But let's get into this. My upcoming 2024 movies that I am most excited about. Now, y'all know when it comes to moi, okay, when you're dealing with Nikki, the number one movies that I will be hyped for is horror, thriller, action. Now, that is not the only movies on the list. I have a pretty good array of things that I'm looking forward to, but those are my top genres that I kind of don't care how generic the movie sounds. If it's horror, I'm just going to be looking forward to it. If it's a thriller or if it's action, I'm going to look forward to it. And not just because that's my favorite genre, or those are my favorite genres, but also because I love a great horror movie, a great action movie, but I also enjoy a great generic action or horror movie, and movies that I can have fun with. Like, everything doesn't have to be just top tier, like, some stuff is something just to have fun with. I really feel like the movie I had the most fun with this year, the new release that I saw the most this year, was the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. I had so much fun with that movie. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just the greatest production ever, but since I love those genres so much, I can also just have fun with them. But we have other stuff upcoming on the list, but those are just my top genres that I'm always looking forward to. So let's get right into it. The number 10 movie for 2024 that I am most looking forward to is Gladiator II. They have made a sequel, child, listed as action adventure drama. It is the sequel to the 2000 Gladiator movie starring Russell Crowe, which I consider to be one of the greatest movies of all time. One of my personal favorite movies of all time. Like, obsessed. So the synopsis that we get is that Gladiator II follows Lucius, the son of Maximus, love Lucilia, after Maximus's death. It is expected November 22nd, 2024. And we actually, okay, this is coming in at number 10 because I personally feel like this isn't something I can really get too hype about, that I can really get high hopes on, because first of all, it's a tall order to come behind a movie that I consider to be just one of the greatest films ever made. So even if you come through with a solid movie, it's still not touching the love and how great I admire that first one. So I can't really be too hype. So that's why it's just at number 10. And also because follow-ups that come drastically far behind the original don't always fare too well. When you have a follow-up 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, it doesn't really fare too well. But we actually have a cast that I can get pretty excited for. We have Pedro Pascal, who I first loved from Game of Thrones, recently loved from the HBO Max series The Last of Us, but he is everywhere, okay? I think everyone loves him. We also have Denzel Washington, who I am actually a person who was late to the Denzel fan club. I never was very big on Denzel. I never understood the Denzel hype. That was just one of those actors that, yeah, I saw him in movies and I enjoyed the movies. I love Pelican Brief. I done saw it like 50 times, but I was never like crazy about Denzel. I never understood the hype until later in his career. And that's when he really churned out back-to-back movies that I just was massively obsessed with, and performances that I was just completely obsessed with. So I'm pretty hyped to see Denzel on the cast, not just because of the caliber of talent and how much I like him, but also because I feel like he's one of the few actors who I feel like I can really trust their taste. Like, I feel like he really does well picking really great movies to be a part of. I feel like the number one actor that I feel has the greatest catalog and has just the best eye for picking a project is Bruce Willis. Now, much love to Bruce Willis, but you know, I'm not counting the recent Bruce Willis catalog. I do not. He, you know, if y'all have heard, he has like dementia or something. He hasn't been right mentally. I'm not counting these recent movies, but Bruce Willis in his right mind, I feel like he was the number one actor for me that picks quality project one after another, one after another. So Denzel for me might be sliding in at number 2, right up under Mr. Bruce Willis. We also have Connie Nelson, who was the actress who played Lucilia. She is returning. And we have director Ridley Scott. One of the best, one of my personal fave directors. Absolutely love Alien, Hannibal, and Gladiator. Those are probably my number one, like, or top three. I'm saying number one. My top three like favorite Ridley Scott films. The writer we have is David Scarpa. I think that's how you pronounce that. He also wrote Napoleon from this year, which I have not seen yet. But he also wrote The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves, which I absolutely positively hated. But with the director, with the cast, I got some hope in this. And great team, amazing casting. There is promise, but like I said, I just cannot get too excited for something that follows up a classic for me. And I can't get too excited when a sequel comes so far behind the original. Hollywood just does not have success with that. I mean, it can be done. We had The Shining and then we had Dr. Sleep. But it is very rare because for every Shining and Dr. Sleep, we also have Jumanji and then that follow up. And then we also have Coming to America and that follow. So I just can't get I can't get too hype, but y'all get hype. Now at number 9. Oh, wait, y'all, hold on. I forgot. I had a little trivia with my information for Gladiator. I thought this was actually really interesting. In the years following the release of the first film, there were numerous attempts to write a sequel. Musician Nick Cave was invited to draft a version by Russell Crowe and Sir Ridley Scott. His version focused on the more mythical elements of ancient Rome and would have seen Maximus, y'all, okay, this plot, okay. His version would have seen Maximus arrive in the afterlife only to be faced with other souls who are yet to ascend further. He is eventually tasked by Jupiter and other Roman deities to return to Earth to find and kill Hepatitis, a former deity who has betrayed them from that. Okay, now it's already convoluted. First of all, Maximus goes to the afterlife and then he meets other souls that are like in the in-between afterlife. So we ain't really at the afterlife, we at the in-between. Then he has to be sent by the Roman deities to go find another Roman deity that betrayed them Roman deities. And then he gets resurrected like Jesus Christ and finds himself a Christian. Then he journeys back to Rome on a mission to stop Christianity from spreading while crossing paths with the new Emperor Lucius. The movie would have ended with Maximus being cursed to live for eternity, featuring a montage of the soldier battling through the Crusades, World War II, and the Vietnam War, eventually revealing a modern-day Maximus working at the Pentagon in Washington. The studio decided not to go through with this version. Baby, let me tell you, for once, the studios made the right call. Because normally it's the director, writers, you know, the actual like people that are involved for the art that I side with. And, you know, the studios just be about money. But the studios made it. This sounds so convoluted. And second of all, I don't want Maximus. He's going to go to the afterlife. He's going to have to battle those souls in the in-between. Then he's going to have to look for a deity. Then he's going to become a Christian and try to stop the spread of Christianity. And then it's too much. And then to have a montage of him battling through all these wars, Vietnam, World War, and then eventually seeing him working at the motherfucking Pentagon in Washington. No, baby. No, baby. And then to have him cursed, we don't want that fate for Maximus. Maximus wanted to go to the afterlife to be reunited with his dead wife and child. Okay, like, no, don't do that to y'all. This was too much. This was too fucking much. I thought that was hilarious though. Am I slow or is that way too convoluted? Like I don't want to follow that movie. That's not only do I not like how y'all were going to end the character, I don't like it's too much going on. Okay, one would think a sequel to Gladiator, the logical solution would be to make a story. Oh, and the one I just told y'all, that script is actually available to read online if you're interested. The logical solution would be to make a story about Maximus's descendants akin to what happened in The Godfather, but the success of the original film rested a great deal on the shoulders of Russell Crowe's performance as Maximus. So a lot of the holdup for a follow-up was getting a story and wanting to include Russell Crowe as Maximus, which I completely get. That performance is so iconic. For what I hear, Russell Crowe in real life is like a madman, but that performance though really solidified Russell Crowe for me. And of course, a big hindrance is the fact that, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Gladiator, his character dies in the end. So that is why this has been hung up for so long. And now we have a follow-up that does not include Russell Crowe Maximus, which I feel like is just the way you have to go. First of all, I don't want to follow up. I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't anything I was looking for or asking for. But if you are going to follow it up, I do think Maximus needs to be left out of it. Let's not go the Fast and the Furious route. If somebody is killed off, baby, let them stay dead. Okay. Where was I at? Many attempts have been made to keep Maximus in a sequel. One screenplay that can be read online sees Maximus arriving in the afterlife, while another idea will have focused partially on Maximus's life prior to Gladiator. So we would have gotten like a prequel, which that could be interesting. Honestly, he was, a soldier. He was involved in, many battles and famous for like that. A prequel, again, not anything I'm looking for, asking for, but a prequel could have definitely worked. Based on director Sir Ridley Scott's comments from a 2019 interview, he was determined to continue with the tale of the character of Maximus in the sequel. They were really hell-bent on just bringing him back. And then once we got this current script, which is the one that we will see that does not include Maximus, we got Russell Crowe saying how he is, happy with the casting, but jealous that he is not a part of it, which I can completely understand. Gladiator really was so classic. The character of Maximus, really for me, one of my favorite Russell Crowe characters out of his entire catalog. So, loved it. Now, okay. Let's move on. Number 9 movie that I am most looking forward to will be The Beekeeper, listed as action thriller starring Jason Statham, Jeremy Irons, one of my fave SVU guests. You know him from tons of stuff. He also played in the Dungeons and Dragon movie that I loved as a kid with Marlon Wayans. That movie, like, did terribly and everyone like really bashes it, but I loved that movie when I was a kid. But he also famously played Simon in Die Hard with a Vengeance. Baby, we also got Felicia Rashad. We got Josh Hutcherson, who I wasn't very impressed with in the new Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know him from anything other than that. We also have Minnie Driver, who honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of her either. She does play in one of my favorite movies from the 90s, Hard Rain. But the synopsis is, in The Beekeeper, one man's brutal campaign for vengeance takes on national stakes after he is revealed to be a former operative of a powerful and clandestine organization known as Beekeepers. It is set to be released January 12th, 2024. Now, I feel like when it comes to Jason Statham, I can pretty much count on him to give me a solid, averagely entertaining action movie, or I can count on him to give me a generic but solidly entertaining action movie. And this premise honestly sounds pretty generic. It's very much, we've seen this before. The writer is David Ayer, who wrote Suicide Squad, Sabotage with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I love, SWAT from 2003, which I love, Training Day, The Fast and the Furious, U571, which I motherfreaking love. And the director also did Street Kings, End of Watch. Street Kings, literally one of the best movies ever in the history of the world. End of Watch, Bright with Will Smith. He's a director, writer. So I love his work. Huge fan. And that honestly gives me a bulk of my hope for this movie, way more than Jason Statham. Because first of all, I love a writer director. Second of all, I really, really love his, like, he is literally one of the best, one of my faves. And Statham is always going to give us some fighting, some kick-ass, some attitude. He going to give us that same old Jason Statham character, but I like that same old Jason Statham character. Not something I can be super hyped with, though. Not something I can have like high expectations for, but it is one of those movies that I do expect to enjoy. And it's one of those movies that I expect to have a good time with. It's Jason Statham. Come on, man. Ballerina. Action thriller. Some of the original crew is here. We have Keanu Reeves. We have the guy that played Winston. We have the late Lance Reddick. We have Angelica Houston, who got her hand sliced up in chapter 3, I think it was. No Lawrence Fishburne. I gotta say, for me, that's a real disappointment. I absolutely love Lawrence Fishburne's character in this franchise. We have new faces, Anna de Armas, who I last saw in that terrible Ben Affleck movie that I did a review on, Deep Water. And that other terrible movie, The Gray Man. Not really hyped for her. Gabriel Bryan, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is most famous in my house for playing the devil in that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, End of Days. That is my movie. That is my motherfucking movie. But most notably, he played in The Usual Suspects. We also have my guy Norman Reedus, most notably for me, Scud in Blade 2. But most famously, Daryl from The Walking Dead. Synopsis, of course, this is a spinoff from the John Wick franchise. A young female assassin seeks revenge against the people who killed her family. Expected to be released June 7, 2024. We have the same guy who directed Live Free or Die Hard, which is the only movie I have ever seen in a movie theater twice. I ain't paying to see no movie twice, but I still remember when Live Free Die Hard came out. And I remember saying that was Live Free Die Hard and Terminator, I used to say, was the most consistent action franchises. I was so obsessed. I saw Live Free Die Hard the day it came out, and I went back and paid to see it the very next day. Love that movie. We have the same writer who did John Wick Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, as well as he wrote Army of the Dead. Honestly, I'm not too thrilled with the casting choices, but the writer and the director give me hope, as well as the fact that John Wick is a franchise that has not fumbled yet. So I have good hope for this. Interesting fact, Lady Gaga was considered for the lead role in this before Anna de Armas was cast, and absolutely love Lady Gaga music-wise. I honestly have never seen her act in anything except American Horror Story, so I'm not mad that she didn't get it. And apparently the timeline for Ballerina, this film takes place in between the events of Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 of John Wick. So I'm definitely looking forward to some action, some fighting. I love a female kicking ass, so I'm all here for that. Number 7 movie that I am most looking forward to is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, listed as action, adventure, sci-fi. We have Anya Taylor-Joy. Honestly, not a huge fan of hers. Like, she's fine. I'm not thrilled with the casting though. I feel like this, of all the top 10 I'm looking forward to, is the casting that I am most disappointed in. I really don't see it. I don't see it with her. I'm just not, like, she's okay. And I know people love her from The Witch and The Menu, etc. But I have never seen her in anything and been blown away or impressed. She's always just fine. When I saw her in The Northman, she was fine. When I saw her in Split, she was fine. Not terrible. I'm obviously beautiful girl, talented girl, but I just personally have never seen a performance where I was blown away. But honestly, it's a hard act to follow, to be playing a younger version of the Charlize Theron character from Mad Max Fury Road. First of all, Charlize motherfucking Theron is my number 1 favorite actress, bar none. So that's just going to be a hard act to follow. And yes, I could be happy with another casting following up Charlize Theron, but not Anya. We also have Chris Hemsworth, who honestly I was never very impressed with or a big fan of until he did the Extraction movie. So off of him and Extraction, I'm hyped for him to be in this. The synopsis, the origin story of renegade warrior Furiosa before she teamed up with the with Mad Max and Fury Road. Now, I have not seen the original like 70s Mad Max. I want to say ever. I think I saw the 80s one. Didn't it have like Tina Turner or something? I can barely remember. But I only just saw Fury Road for the first time actually earlier this year. And I was, because I just wasn't interested. But I was so blown away. So like that movie. I was behind the time, child. Like I was missing the hell damn out. We have the same director who did the original Mad Max, so that gives me hope. I have faith in that. We have the same writer who did the Mad Max Fury Road. So the director, the writer, Chris Hemsworth, that gives me most of my like hope and excitement for Furiosa. I'm just really not on board with the casting of young Furiosa. Like, I'm really not. Number 6 movie that I'm most looking forward to, A Quiet Place Day One, drama, horror, sci-fi. Now, the plot is under wraps, but I mean, you can pretty much use deductive reasoning and context clues that this is going to be the events of the very first day, which we got a little glimpse of the first day with our family in Quiet Place Part 2. Now, casting, Lupita Nyong'o. Did I say it right? Demon Hensu. I am so happy that we brought back Demon Hensu, because if you saw my review for the last Quiet Place, you know I was massively upset that we got somebody so talented to have a small little SVU guest starring role, like smaller than the SVU guest starring role. Like he had such a minuscule role, and it pissed me off beyond belief. He is too goddamn talented. Utilize him, okay? So I feel like based on the casting, based on the fact it's called A Quiet Place Day One, I'm going to presume we are going to be following Demon Hensu and his family. And I'm going to presume Lupita is his wife and she's going to die, because when we come across him, Demon Hensu, in the second one, it's just him and his son. So I'm really excited for this. I'm not very familiar with any of this director's work, but the person who is on here for writing, he also wrote The Boogeyman from this year, which I wasn't a big fan of. Haunt from 2019, which I absolutely love. But he was also credited on the first 2 Quiet Places, so that gives me hope. And we still have John Krasinski, who played the dad in the first Quiet Place, and he also is the person who came up with this idea and also wrote, came up with these characters, was a writer on the first one. So since it's still him and the other writer, I feel like it should stay consistent. I was a big fan, huge, massive fan of the first 2 Quiet Place. Like, I absolutely love both of those movies. I've seen them both like 50, 100,000 times. Expected to be released on June 28th, 2024. I gotta say, I'm really hyped for A Quiet Place, because I just feel like they have been so consistent, and I really love I love The Quiet Place. Love Quiet Place so much. Number 5 movie that I am most looking forward to, I feel like it's a movie that nobody ever fucking talks about. Netflix made a movie called The Old Guard with the love of my life, Charlize Theron. And I don't ever hear nobody talk about it. I absolutely love that movie. We are finally coming back with the sequel. We have the genre as action, adventure, fantasy. The plot is unknown, but it is obviously a sequel to the 2020 The Old Guard. If you are not familiar, The Old Guard basically follows a group of people who are immortal, including Charlize Theron. You can live for 200, 400, 800 years, but one day you die, and you have no idea when that day will be. So when we last saw it, Charlize Theron was hitting on losing her powers of immortality, which there's no rhyme or reason. One day you just lose it. We have Charlize Theron back, which I'm so happy about. We got Uma Thurman, child. If you saw my live I did, and I think I flipped it into a video of my 2022 unpopular movie opinions. I absolutely do not. I want to say hate, but I don't know that lady. She probably the nicest lady. She probably great, okay? But I do not like Uma Thurman. Like, I like with a passion. Like, do you have those actors that you don't even have a rhyme or reason? You just don't like them? I do not like Uma Thurman. Her on the cast kills the vibe for me. I gotta be honest. I feel like she always comes in. It's like, what was Payback? The movie with Ben Affleck, Payback. I love that movie, but I feel like Uma Thurman like ruins it. And I also feel like I can't fully enjoy Kill Bill as much as everybody raves about it. I can't enjoy it to the level of everybody else because it's Uma Thurman, and I don't like her face. I don't like the way she acts. I just don't like her. You know what? Much love to that lady, though. Much love to that lady. I don't know her. I'm just speaking from movie fan, okay? I don't know that lady. Not very familiar with the director. She doesn't have very many credits outside of a few episodes of Lovecraft Country and season 1 of You. And the writer is Greg Rucka, one of the writers of The Old Guard. And he is also the graphic novelist, and he's known for some pretty popular graphic novels, including one based on the movie Whiteout that I enjoy about a serial killer in the Arctic. So first of all, when you're dealing with Netflix, baby, y'all know Netflix gonna be hit or miss. You're gonna either really love it or really hate it. So I can't get, like, I don't have high expectations, but it's high on my upcoming list because of how much I love the first one and how much I have been waiting for a sequel. And we don't have an exact release date. It's just expected in 2024. So I want more people to jump on the Old Guard bandwagon. If you haven't seen the first one, go check it out. Number 4 movie that I'm most looking forward to is Stream, action, horror, thriller. Roy and Elaine Kenyon find themselves separated from their family and decide that something must be done. Roy puts his work on the back burner, and the two seize opportunity to relive past vacations, and they end up in a fight for their life. Child, if y'all know anything I love outside of horror, it's a motherfucking fight for your life synopsis. I love a fight for your life thriller. Secluded fight for your life thriller is my bag. Like, I don't care how many Hollywood churns out. I don't care if it's generic. I absolutely love that premise. The cast, we have Tony Todd, Death himself. And we have Danielle Harris, who for me most notably played the little girl in Halloween season of The Witch and Stakeland, and she was the annoying girl in Daylight with Sylvester Stallone. But she's played in a ton of stuff, and we have a ton of familiar faces, including Tim Reed, Jeffrey Combs. The director, this is also why I'm excited for this project. The director and the writer are part of the team of the Terrifier movies. So I am very excited to see what they do outside of the world of Terrifier, which I am a fan of the Terrifier movies, but I am very massively curious and excited to see what that team can do outside of that world. And I thought this was pretty interesting. This is also another reason that I really want to support this movie. Stream is being financed in part by crowdfunding campaign. To date, they have raised over $180,000 to date at the date of this little thing I'm reading from the support of horror fans around the world using the hashtag Join the Stream to spread the word. We don't have an exact release date, but it is expected in 2024. Y'all know that we have gotten some gems in horror that are the up and coming or the people that use some crowdfunding. So I'm pretty excited for this. I'm pretty excited for this team. I don't really care about the casting, but honestly, I'm not even a huge person on cast depending on what it is. I absolutely love seeing a movie with like either a no-name cast that I don't know anything about, or just, just a regular cast that I'm not necessarily hyped for, but I love those scenarios. But I'm really looking forward to Stream. I can't think of anything I really love more than fighting for your life, fighting for survival. Now, coming up at number 3, No Way Up, listed as action, adventure, drama, thriller. Characters from different backgrounds are thrown together when the plane they are traveling on crashes into the Pacific Ocean. A nightmare fight for survival ensues with the air supply running out and dangers creeping in from all sides. I don't know nobody on this cast. Everybody's pretty unknown, but That is my motherfucking premise. That is a premise. This is one of those movies I literally do not need to know anything. They fighting for their life. Sign me up. Literally, that's all I need to know. But my mother did tell me she saw the preview and she was so hype and excited after seeing the preview. So no US release date though, but it is expected 2024. I am so goddamn. Y'all, what is it? What is it about people being isolated and fighting for their lives? It just really gets me so hyped and excited. And I always love putting myself in a scenario and trying to think how I would survive if I could survive. Number 2 is a movie called Breathe, action thriller. Air supply is scarce in the near future, forcing a mother and daughter to fight to survive when 2 strangers arrive desperate for an oxygenated haven. Y'all, the top movies I'm looking forward to. I love a fight for your life premise. I love a fight for survival premise. I really do. We have Mila Jovovich. We have Sam Worthington. We got Common. Y'all know I do not like Common. Not acting wise. B was my album. But I swear, Common is the most casted non-acting ass actor that is out. Common can't act. I'm sorry. He can't, but I love you, brother. You know, Black people getting work. Okay, I'm here for it. Jennifer Hudson and Dan Martin. We have a Black director. And this looks to be his first big project. And the writer, I'm not very familiar with his work. This is expected May 9th, 2024. I feel like anytime Sam Worthington shows up, it's going to be really good. There was a Netflix movie he starred in that I loved, where him and his wife and his daughter ended up missing. I can't think of the name though. Mila Jovovich, I absolutely love her. Can't stand Common. But those 2 attached to the project. Black director getting his first big project. Fight for survival, post-apocalyptic, near future plot. Look, I'm here for it. I am here for it all motherfucking day. Now, I am so hyped, so freaking hyped for this movie. These top ones, I'm just over the moon hyped for. The number 1 movie that I am most looking forward to in 2024 is Crawler's horror movie. In the year 2030, a zombie pandemic of biblical proportions decimates the United States population. American survivors rush to Mexico to a southern sanctuary, a rocky plateau believed to be zombie free. Completely unknown cast. Writer them ain't got very many credits. It is expected October 10th, 2024. Hopefully this will be a great birthday present for me. I am so obsessed with zombies. That is my subgenre. I don't care. Most people feel like the zombie subgenre is oversaturated, and I don't care. Oversaturate that mug. I love a zombie movie. I love a pandemic. I love fighting for survival. So this is the one that I am number 1 most looking forward to. I just love these visual, the movie poster. It's just giving me all the feels. I am so excited. I am so hyped. Now, let's get into a few comments before we move on to just some upcoming movies. Now, the movies that's coming up, if y'all was here for the beginning, I did not have time to get the information that I got on my top 10 that's coming out. But we finna just go through them and see what is coming up for 2024 that I am excited for. Let's see. It feels like a money grab when sequels come out 10 plus years later. What took you so long? You know what? I feel the opposite. I feel like when they churn out a sequel pretty fast, that feels more like a money grab to me than waiting a long time. And I also, just from the background information, don't feel like this is a money grab, because the holdup was the fact that they wanted to bring back Russell Crowe's Maximus and nobody could come up with a viable story since he did die in the original. So that was pretty much the hang up. So I would agree when it comes out super fast, but in this case, I personally don't think it is a money grab. What I need to let go? Gladiator. Now, I will say Gladiator, it's my number 10, but it's not a sequel I was asking for. It's not a sequel I was looking for. But since it's coming, and with the information we have, I'm anticipating it. Girl, I literally said, what is wrong with you? You didn't understand the type with Denzel, especially in his younger days. So first of all, I still don't get the whole, like, I'm not on board with the, like, Denzel being fine. I mean, nice looking young man, but I'm not there. But I mean, I never understood that bandwagon, and I just never understood the bandwagon as far as him as an actor. I just wasn't on board. I just wasn't. I did not jump on board of really being a fan of Denzel as an actor until his later part of his career, and that was when he was really churning them out. And I was just like, oh shoot, okay. But when I think about it, my favorite actors are actors that are really intense, over dramatic, over the top. Charlize Theron, Angela Bassett, Al Pacino, Ray Liotta. Denzel was way more laid back in his performances, so that could also play a part in why he just was never on my radar. But then once we got into the later part of his career, I feel like I started getting a lot more intensity from him, and that's just my thing that I love. I love a very intense performance. And Ridley Scott played in our face with Prometheus. I don't even want to get into how goddamn angry I was when it came to Prometheus. Which one was the Prometheus and Nim? Which one was it the Nim when old girl, they was on the planet, and then old girl went to the ship, and because the man had something coming out his back, then the other girl gonna lock her in that lock, not let her out. Like, that whole movie, all the movies was pissing me the hell off. All the movies was pissing me off. Oh my Lord Jesus. Like, yeah, them really pissed me off. Really pissed me off. See, I don't watch the trailers, but look, I'm not here for Anya. And Anya Taylor does not have to portray all the girl. Look, she is like the it girl right now for some reason beyond my understanding. But hey, I'm not the casting director, so she good. So yes, we love a good battle at the Royale. Yes, 100%. I'm not. Look, this one, Common is still as hell when he's such a look. I'm off. Look, B was my album. Common can't act. Common Common is a stiff ass actor. I will never forget Common in, first of all, Common in Silo, Common in John Wick. You working, John? Hey, John. I'm just like, get him the fuck out of here. I cannot stand Common as an actor. Cannot stand Common. But here we go. Let's look at some more upcoming movies that I am excited for. Now, I might have to look some up. Let's see if I just know it from when I Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot. Y'all was getting this half done work. I got some of the slides together. Night Swim, horror thriller. A woman swimming in her pool at night is terrorized by an evil spirit. I am very excited. As always, I'm going to just be excited for a horror movie. Like, I don't even care what it is. Just, it's a horror. I'm here for it. So I'm excited for that. Horoscope sounds so stupid. This really sounds like one of those real lame, like early 2000s, like, but it's horror, so I'm here for it. A group of college friends began dying in ways connected to their fortunes after getting their horoscope read. Y'all, that's probably gonna be terrible, but I'm hoping I can at least just have a good time with it. The Fall Guy. This is with Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt. It is action. Hold on, let me see this one. I gotta go. The Fall Guy. Look, y'all, it took me. Look, we here. I showed up, but I ain't got everything together. Colt is a stuntman who left the business a year earlier to focus on both his physical and mental health. He's drafted back into service when the star of a mega budget studio movie, which is being directed by his ex, goes missing. So it's action. It's Ryan Gosling, who his movies are hit or miss for me, but I'm gonna always look forward to an action movie. So yeah. I'm on board. I'm on board. So hopefully this year was a good year for action. Hopefully next year will be a good year. Terrifier 3. We don't really have an official release date, but I will say, yeah, I'm sure Terrifier 3 is making most horror fans' top 10 upcoming movies. It did not make mine because honestly, I'm kind of ready for the franchise to die. Like, die for like the next 10 years. Like, just give me some time. But they making money, so they're going to keep churning them out. But yeah, I'm not necessarily thrilled. I feel like Terrifier 3 is one of those movies I'll get around to seeing next year. I'm not in a rush to see it. I'm not going to run to see it. As much as I love horror, I'm just ready for something else. Like, I've had enough of Art the Clown. I'm sorry, but I have. The Lord of the Rings, the War of the, however the hell you pronounce that word. Now, I am looking forward to this, but I have never seen The Lord of the Rings a day in my life. I do plan to like catch up and watch all the movies before this one comes out, but it's just not my cup of tea. I actually tried to watch The Lord of the Rings like 4 or 5 times way back in the day, and I kept falling asleep. It's just not my thing. And I was honestly never into like that fantasy adventure dragons. Like I was never into that honestly until like Game of Thrones. So now I can get a little more into that whole space. So we'll see what happens with The Lord of the Rings, but I'll be here for it. Witchboard. This is a remake of the 80s horror movie Witchboard, which mediocre horror movie in my opinion. Like it's fine, it's solid, it's very 80s. I will watch it, but I'm hoping they do not just do a complete carbon copy of the original. I really would prefer if they maybe just take that premise but do something completely different. Just go completely off the rails to the left, do something that doesn't even resemble the original movie. That is what I prefer when you talk about a remake. Like, don't give me a carbon copy. Damn, what is this one? See, this is what happened when I didn't have time to get my slides together. Which movie? Oh, this is that Mickey 17 movie. That's what this is. Yep, Mickey 17 with Robert Pattinson. Now, I Mickey 17, the plot is under wraps, but it's like a futuristic sci-fi drama type of movie. And we have Mark Ruffalo, we have Toni Collette. I'm on board when we talk about Toni Collette, Mark Ruffalo. Robert Pattinson, I never really cared for him, never been a big fan. And actually, the first performance that I ever was like, oh shoot, I really like this kid was what was that movie he played in? Tenet. I actually really liked Tenet, and I really, really liked Robert Pattinson in Tenet. So I'm here for him in this. That was my first time ever actually liking him, seeing him in something. So we'll see. I know I'm gonna pronounce this so wrong. Let me pull up the information. This is a remake, I think. Nosferatu. Is that how you say that? Fantasy horror mystery, a gothic tale of obsession between a haunted young woman and the terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing untold horror in its wake. I love gothic horror. I love vampires. We have Nicholas Hoyt. We have Anya Taylor. Y'all. Oh, wait. No, I'm reading that wrong. Okay, we ain't got that girl. We ain't got that girl. We got Aaron Taylor. I thought this was Anya Taylor, girl. Yeah, I read that way too fast. I like Nicholas Holt. I'm very on board with the synopsis, with the genre. Definitely my cup of tea. I need them to come out with something really strong and solid. I feel like we have not had a really great vampire movie in quite a bit. I am probably the only person on planet Earth, seems like, that actually really loved Blood and Honey. Like, I have seen people do nothing but trash that movie. I had so much fun with Blood and Honey. It is the new watch from 2023 that I have seen the most. I have seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey probably about 10 times. this year, maybe more than that, because when I first saw it literally like 4 times in 2 weeks. I am so obsessed with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. They are coming out with the sequel. It did well, I think it did well money-wise because everybody ran to see it, but it did terribly review-wise. Like, everybody and their mama was trashing this movie. And I expected to go in and absolutely hate it, but I had so much fun with this movie from the moment it started. Like, I love this. Like, I love this. I can't act, but baby, cast me in Winnie the Pooh too. Because I can't act, but I could give you over dramatic. I could give you over the top. Okay, let me fall in some blood and like, look, I absolutely loved the first Winnie the Pooh. So I honestly doubt that the sequel will be very good. I don't think I have as much fun because the first movie is very much a so bad it's good kind of movie for me personally. This one is, I think this was that magical, what is it called? The American Society of Magical Negroes. After Aaron is recruited into a secret society of magical Black people who dedicate their lives to a cause of utmost importance. So they are making a movie surrounding the horror movie trope of the magical Negro, and I am 100% here for it. And I hope audiences these days even get what this film will likely be delving into and going for. I don't hear many people talk about the magical Negro trope, so I don't even know. We have a lot of new horror audiences, a lot of people that weren't into horror that are now, and we don't do the magical Negro trope as much as we used to. So I hope this movie does well for the fact that I'm not even sure most people will get or understand. Like in the synopsis when it says, Black people who dedicate their lives to a cause of utmost importance, I'm pretty sure I could fill in that blank. White folk. Like, because that's what the magical Negro does. They are here to help the white folks. But I wonder if other people that read that synopsis, is it just a complete mystery to them of what the cause of utmost importance is? We have David Allen Greer. Let me tell you, what is his lady name? Because baby could play a thug, baby could play a paramedic on that show 911. Baby, I feel like she is the most versatile actress ever, bar none. The only person that can really transform like her is like, you know how Samuel Jackson be like transforming and but she, for me, is number one, bar none. The best like actress or actor who can completely transform. Aisha Hines is her name. Love that girl so much. I'm excited for this. It's comedy, which is my least favorite genre, but I really love the blackening. And I am that person that's going to show up to the movies and support just because it's Black folk. But I actually really love the blackening. This is going to be comedy, but I'm hoping it's not just straight comedy, like maybe like a dark comedy horror, something like that. That's what I'm hoping they go for. But I need them to really do the trope of the magical Negro justice. Like, please give us something very nuanced. Give us something really witty, really smart. Look, please, okay? The Conjuring Last Rites. I am a fan of this franchise, even though the very last one, which was The Devil Made Me Do It, the most mediocre of them. And when I say the franchise, I don't mean the Conjuring universe, okay? Just the Conjuring franchise, which I think is a trilogy at this point, and this will add a 4th film. So we have this coming up. So I'm on board. I'm always be on board for horror. I'm always be on board for ghosts and possession and all that stuff. From the Ashes, what was this one? Let me see. From the Ashes, crime, drama, mystery. A woman is jailed for her husband's crimes, and her only way out is to solve riddles from her mysterious past. I absolutely love a really good mystery, a really good crime drama. I am definitely here for hopefully a smart mystery that makes sense, not something that they just have conveniences with and just make it very contrived, but I'm very much here for From the Ashes. I'm on board. I cannot remember the last time we really got like a good mystery. Horizon is only here because I know I'm gonna have to see this for my mama. It's Kevin Costner. It's a Western. Not my cup of tea. I love the movie Wyatt Earp, but outside of that, my least favorite genres: comedy, westerns, romance, musicals. So this is just here because I know I'm gonna have to see it because my mother's favorite genre is western. So Kevin Costner is coming back with a little western, child. Horizon, an American Saga. We got Will Smith and Martin Lawrence coming back for Bad Boys. I am honestly not looking forward to this, not excited for this. I wasn't asking for it, I wasn't looking for it, and I love Will Smith. I love Martin Lawrence. Fun fact, Martin Lawrence was actually my first crush ever in life when I was a kid. That was my first crush ever. My first celebrity crush was Martin Lawrence, child. But honestly, I'm not a fan of this franchise. I'm sorry. I absolutely love the very first Bad Boys, but outside of that, I really could not get on board with the two sequels. They were very meh for me. They just have not been able to capture that magic from the first one, in my humble opinion. Imaginary. What was, I think this is the one, I know it's horror. And I think the girl like goes back to her childhood home and finds that her imaginary friend is real and has been living there. A woman returns to her child. What I was just saying. A woman returns to her childhood home to discover that the imaginary friend she left behind is very real and unhappy that she abandoned him. Now, I feel like this sounds like a pretty silly premise, but I'm hoping this is a straight, dark horror and they really give us something very disturbing and sinister when you're mixing in like childhood fantasy. I had an imaginary friend when I was a kid. She was a monkey and her name was Jackie Banana. So I feel like that's like happiness and innocence. So if you mix that with, if I was to go back to my childhood house, which we used to call the White House because it was white, and we just called it the White House. So if I was to go back to that childhood home and find Jackie Banana there trying to damn kill me and something sinister happening, that really takes a turn. So I'm really hoping that I don't want no alleviation from the tension. I don't want no kind of comment. I want a straight dark horror. Like, please, okay, give me something good. The first Omen obviously is, well, not obviously, but we have the original, the Omen, and then we have, sequels, and then we have the remake with Liev Schreiber. So now we are coming in with the first Omen. And I actually am a pretty big fan of horror prequels. I absolutely love the Exorcist prequel. What was it? The Exorcist Beginning? Don't quote me, but there was an Exorcist prequel where the guy was out in the desert. Love that movie. So I feel like prequels can be really good. I also actually really love that prequel they did for The Thing. So I feel like the Omen though is I loved it a lot more as a kid. Love it a lot less as an adult. It's still solid, but it is definitely not one of my favorites. It's not anything I care about. It's not anything I run to rewatch. But I'm on board for a prequel to The Omen. Let's see what they do. Hopefully it won't be generic. The Strangers. Now, I was a little confused on the information that I pulled up on The Strangers. We have 2 so far. This will be the 3rd one, but everything I saw was calling it chapter 1. So I don't know if this is supposed to be a prequel. The plot is under wraps. They don't have a plot out yet. So it is either going to be a prequel or it's supposed to be chapter 3. Because this would be the 3rd film. The first The Strangers was a film that had to grow on me. I didn't care for it when I first saw it. I thought it was pretty boring and mediocre. But on a few rewatches, I actually like it. I feel like it is pretty solid. It gets some things right. Absolutely hated the second The Strangers. That was just absolutely terrible. Stupid ass characters. So let's see what they do coming back with The Strangers and making it a trilogy. Aliens is coming out with another movie that I hope ain't gonna be like Prometheus and them. So not excited. Wasn't looking for it. Wasn't asking for it. But hey, let's see what they do. Twisters. They are remaking the 90s movie Twister with one of my fave actors, Bill Paxton, and what's that lady name from Mad About You? I used to love that show, Mad About You. Helen Hunt. So we are remaking Twisters. I absolutely love a disaster movie, but I wasn't asking for it. I wasn't looking for it. But hey, let's see what they do. The Home. What was this one? I can't remember this one. This might be one of those that I came across that doesn't even really have much info because there is no movie poster. Let me see. What was? Oh, here we go. Yep, it doesn't have a movie poster. It looks to be in post production, but we don't have anything yet. It is horror thriller. Follows Max, who realizes that the residents and caretakers in the retirement home he started working at hide sinister secrets. Now, the elderly being evil and like it's been so done. But like I said, I'm gonna always just be on the lookout for a horror movie. So it's rated R horror as well. I'm not very thrilled about the cast. I don't really know anyone outside of Pete Davidson, which I don't even really know him. I feel like I've never seen him in anything. He dated Kim Kardashian and Ariana Grande, and that's really all I know about him. So the cast don't really have me. The whole old people and the horror, which I'm fine with that, but I never tend to really be impressed with those movies that go there. So hopefully they do something with the home, child. The title of the movie is very generic. Knives Out 3. I wasn't a very big fan of the first Knives Out, though I do need to rewatch it. I saw Knives Out in theaters when it came out. Um I remember like not hating it. I thought it was like okay, but I wasn't blown away. Knives Out 2, meh, I wasn't the biggest fan of. It was fine. It was enjoyable enough. I absolutely hated Daniel Craig's accent. Southern folk don't talk like that. And I felt like the mystery was terrible. It was very elementary. It was very Encyclopedia Brown. I solved it from the get-go. So if they come out with a Knives Out 3, it's again kind of like Terrifier 3. I'm not going to run to see it. Like I'll see it when I get around to it. Probably Terrifier 3 and Knives Out 3 will probably be one of those movies that I watch at the end of the year to just get my 2024 movies done, because it's not anything I'm really looking forward to. It's not anything I'm excited about. I really hope we get a much better mystery. Like I absolutely love a mystery. I used to be obsessed with Encyclopedia Brown books when I was a kid. I'm very good at riddles. I remember at work, we used to always do riddles at the end of the day. I was the one that solved them the most. I absolutely love watching something and trying to solve a mystery. I'm very good at it. But give me something good. Give me something to really get my brain working. The Watchers. I think this is a gothic horror werewolf movie, but let me see. The Watchers fantasy horror mystery follows Mina, a 28-year-old artist, as she gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland. After finding shelter, she becomes trapped alongside three strangers stalked by mysterious creatures each night. This is actually a movie by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, and we have the Dakota Fanning starring in this. Nah, me and Shyamalan family, we ain't got good ties, okay? After Old, I swore up and down I was not going to watch another M. Night Shyamalan movie ever again. But then I saw The Cabin, which I regretted. And I said I was never watching nothing from him. Now, this ain't him. This is his daughter. But I'm honestly not very excited. If she's anything like her dad, it's going to be hit or miss. I either love a M. Night Shyamalan movie or I absolutely hate a M. Night Shyamalan movie. There's never an in-between. I like the premise, as y'all know, being secluded and stranded somewhere and fighting for your life, especially when you mixed in with strangers and people you don't know, because then you can kind of have a little suspense and tension. Like, can I even trust these strangers? I love the premise, but with the name Shyamalan, I just can't really get on board. Sorry, but hey, let's see what she does. This is the werewolf movie I was thinking of. What Remains of Us? And I want to say Jon Snow is in this one. Yeah, Kit Harrington, but he gonna always be Jon Snow to me. Drama thriller set in 1965 follows a 10-year-old girl as she starts to question her atypical life in her family's fortified compound in rural England. This is a werewolf movie, and just like the other movie that's coming out, the vampire movie, we don't really get a lot of werewolf horror, and we don't get very good ones. So I feel like outside of like Dog Soldiers, Underworld. I used to really love The Howling when I was a kid, like loved it. But I saw it in the last like 5 years, and it was okay. But I really would love for us to get a really great dark horror movie, werewolf movie. I meant, and you know what? I feel like we did get a werewolf movie last year that was on my end of the year wrap up. I forgot all about it until I was just saying we haven't gotten one, and it was called something really generic. It was okay, it was fine, but I would love for us to get a really great werewolf movie. This is one of those, like, I'll see it, but y'all know if it's one thing I hate, it's teenagers. I cannot stand teenage characters in a movie. This one is The TV Glows, or The Glow from the TV. What was it called? Hold on. What was this one? Something about a glow from the TV or something like that. Let's see. I saw the TV glow. I know it was something like that, child. It's something I'll see because it's horror, but God, like I cannot express like how much I hate watching anything with teenagers. That's why I never saw Fear Street movies, because it was like I typically will be like, oh, it's teenagers, I'm not gonna watch it. But I actually kind of like this premise. It follows two teenagers who bond over their shared love of a scared television show, but the show gets mysteriously canceled, and we have like some sinister stuff happens. I kind of like that. It feels like a very meta premise. It feels like we're going to get like a show within the movie that maybe comes to life. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I'll sit through the damn teenage shit. But I just feel like I'm really on board with that premise. Hold on, what is it rated? Okay, we don't have a rating yet. I'll be even more on board if it ends up being rated R instead of PG-13. But let's see. Double Blind. This is a movie. I don't know, because I was a little traumatized. This premise reminds me of that movie with Julianne Moore, where everybody, not everybody, but a pandemic happened and people went blind and they end up stuck in this little quarantine place. That movie was disturbing for my soul. So this gives me that double blind horror thriller. When an experimental drug trial goes horribly wrong, the surviving test subjects must fight off sleep and each other to stay alive. This literally sounds like that Julianne Moore movie, but it's horror thriller. I like the premise. I'm here for it. I just hope it don't disturb my sensibilities like Julianne Moore did. Wanted Man. We got a action movie. I cannot remember this one though. Let's see. Oh, this is with my guy. How you pronounce his name? How do you pronounce this man's name? Dolph Lundgren. Y'all, how you say his name? Y'all know the Russian from Rocky. It's him. He got an action movie coming out. And I like his love. generic action movies he be making. I have fun with them. Is listed as action thriller, follows a police officer who must retrieve an eyewitness and escort her after a cartel shooting leaves several DEA agents dead. But then he must decide who to trust when they discover that the attack was executed by American forces. That pretty is giving me that typical 90s action hero plot. And I don't know if y'all are into this subgenre of his little action movies that have been coming out, but I have fun with them. I love a generic action movie that is enjoyable and fun and a little cheesy. Give me a little like reminiscent of the 80s, 90s, like one-liner action movie. So I'm here for a Wanted Man. So let's see what happens with that. I feel like that'll be a fun one that I like rent on Amazon Prime or something. Cold Storage. What was this one? A Liam Neeson movie. He also got a little subgenre of Liam Neeson films. It is listed as thriller. A fungus stored in a government facility gets out and wreaks havoc on the world. Absolutely love this premise. I love Liam Neeson. I don't care how much he keep playing in the same damn, little character. So I am here for Cold Storage. I am here for some type of like out 90s like outbreak type of movie, the Dustin Hoffman Outbreak, or that other one that came out in recent years, Den of Thieves 2. I remember seeing Den of Thieves, but I honestly can't remember being very impressed. I feel like I thought it was like okay, not terrible. They're coming out with a sequel. I stand by my proclamation that Gerard Butler picks the worst movies. I don't care. He has the worst catalog of any actor in Hollywood, bar none. I don't care. Like, Gerard Butler picks worse movies than Corey Hardrick. And if you know, you know. I feel like, but they're coming out with a sequel. It's going to be action. The same way I'm going to show up for a horror movie, I'm going to show up for an action movie. If we're fighting and shooting off guns, baby, I'm going to be here. Saw is coming out with another movie, so I will be here for that. I have not seen the Saw from this year yet. I absolutely hated Spiral, but let's see what they do. American Star. I feel like this is that action movie with the guy that plays Winston in the John Wick movies. American Star, rated R. It is a thriller. An assassin on a final assignment goes to kill a man he has never met. When his target is delayed, he finds himself drawn to the island people and a ghostly shipwreck. I am very here for this. It is the guy that plays Winston and John Wick and a few other familiar faces. This feels little generic based on the plot, but I feel like it's one of those movies that I can have some fun with. It feels like it'll be an entertaining enough way to kill some time. Like, every movie doesn't have to be. Some movies are just a fun way to kill some time. Nothing to write home about. We have Doom coming back with part 2, and I gotta be honest. Maybe I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I saw that first Doom. I was confused. I was like, what the hell happened? Who the hell are these people? What's going on? Why he here? Why she there? It was all over. I did not understand. I'm gonna have to rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it so I can understand before I go into this one. But Doom Part 2 is coming, and I will be here to see it. Even though I didn't understand nothing that was happening in the first one. What was this one? Speak No Evil. Is that the name of the movie, or is that just the tagline? Oh, I know what this is. So we had a foreign movie in 2022 called Speak No Evil. If you saw my 2022 yearly wrap up, it was one of my favorite movies that year. We are making the American version. We are remaking Speak No Evil. Now, I am all for remakes. I am not one of those people that don't like remakes, reimaginings. I'm all here for it. But one thing I do not like is a remake that comes right behind the original. And we tend to do that a lot. We gotta like come with like the American version. So they're gonna make an American version, and I feel like it was a really good cast. Let me see. Yeah, we have James McAvoy, who I always really enjoy in whatever he shows up in. I highly doubt Americans are going to be as dark and sick and twisted and brutal. But hey, let's see what they do with the damn movie, child. But I mean, I'm not really here for it, but hey, I'm gonna show up. So now these are the movies that do not have really any information yet. It is just we know they are coming. We have the horror movie They Listen from Bloomhouse that is let me see. I can't remember which one. I think this might be the one with the guy who played in Harold and Kumar. We don't have any the plot is under wraps. It is horror and yes, John Chow, the guy from Harold and Kumar, he is in this. I mean, look, it's horror, it's Bloomhouse. I'm gonna show the hell up. The Crow. They are remaking. I don't know if they're remaking it. It's a sequel or a prequel, but The Crow is coming from Lionsgate. So let's see what the hell they do with that child. I have not seen The Crow in ages. I literally can barely even remember the movie, so I have to rewatch it. Somewhere in Dreamland. I think this is the movie with the black lady from Law and Order and this pretty little black girl. Let me see. Yep, this is a horror movie, follows the story of Anna who grieves the death of her parents as she moves from New York to Florida to stay with her grandmother. She falls in with some other teens, but when she sees a grisly act of violence, she ends up trapped. And I feel like I'm very excited for this, even though, it's a teenager. I'm hoping she's like an older teen, not a high school teen. But the lady who played the captain, the black lady who was the captain on the original Law and Order, she's on here. So I'm pretty excited for this, especially like I tend to say if it ends up rated R, I will definitely be. I mean, PG-13 horror can be good, but when I'm dealing with a certain premise, I need it to be rated R. Badland Hunters is a Korean movie that is coming out with the guy from Train to Busan who had the pregnant wife. He plays in some pretty good action movies. Well, one that came out recently was based on a true story where he was like a mob boss that teams up with a cop to like catch a serial killer. So I'm here for this. I'm here for Badland Hunter. I cannot remember the premise though, but I know it's action and I know it's Korean. Koreans be making some fire ass movies. I'm gonna tell you like that. Action adventure drama after a major earthquake transforms Seoul into an apocalyptic wasteland. We end up with these mayhem. I'm here for apocalypse. I'm here for a wasteland, and I'm here for fighting and survival. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. And then we have the amateur. Damn, I can't remember this one either. The here we go. The amateur action thriller. We getting a lot of action next year, and I'm really hoping all of it be hitting. Follows a CIA cryptographer who manages to blackmail his agency into training him to let him go after a group of terrorists who killed his wife in London. And we have why people gotta have these names I can't pronounce. Y'all know this young man. What has he played in most notably? Oh, he was in that show, the Mr. Robot. Y'all know Mr. Robot. He is in here. Now I know y'all know Mr. Robot, child. He was also in one of them Bond movies. But yes, he will be here with the amateur. I am on board for revenge, for action. Now, this one has a few names. It looks like the name was The Last Girl, but then it looks like they have changed it to Cult Killer, which I hate the name Cult Killer. Just change it back to The Last Girl because Cult Killer is so generic. Let me see. I really, really love this premise though. Yeah, it says original title, The Last Girl, but it has been changed to Cult Killer. It is rated R. It is a thriller. When a renowned private investigator is murdered, his protege takes on the case. As her investigation unfolds, she is forced into a dangerous alliance with his killer to uncover the town's grisly secrets and bring justice to its victims. We have Antonio Banderas. I'm very much on board with this. I really like the premise. I really love that it's rated R. I mean, I hope we utilize that rated R rating. So I'm here for all of like the action and the thrillers that we are going to be getting next year. And then we have Alto Nights. Oh, this is the gangster film with Robert De Niro that is coming out. We don't really have any information, but babe, I'm here for a good gangster film. We don't get the gangster movies like we used to. That used to be like my fave when I was a kid, is my gangster movies. Casino, oh my God. I saw Casino. Oh my, I can't even express how much I saw that movie. Goodfellas. Scarface is my favorite movie of all time, bar none. Love gangster movies. So I want to get into a few comments and then I'm gonna be out of here. And I was supposed to do the 2024 like TV shows I'm looking forward to after this live. But if you was here at the beginning, I literally spent 13 hours working on the slides and I am still not done. So I don't know. Y'all got the half done work in this one. I don't know. Maybe I'll flip and go live right after this and y'all just get the half done motherfucking work in the next one. But I see too many prequels and sequels. Yep, we look. They're gonna always capitalize. They're gonna always capitalize. I thought they said the last Bad Boys was the final. They always say the last sequel was the final one. They said the last Halloween was the last Halloween. Then they made about 20 Halloweens after that. Yes, I'm excited for Imaginary if they can really just get the execution right. Unless Ryan and Deadpool, I don't care. You can watch Horoscope. Horoscope is gonna be terrible. I already know it, but I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch. Oh my God, I forgot that performance. Common and Wanted. Common can't act. Common cannot goddamn act to save his motherfucking life. I mean, he just. B will always be my album though. B will always be my album, but baby, Common is the worst actor in Hollywood. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but he is. I mean, all the no-name actors, all of them. Common is the worst actor in Hollywood, bar none. I don't care. He got some stiff-ass acting. All that money and all the access to the greatest minds in his field, and ain't nobody taught him how to act yet. He ain't go to the theater. He ain't take no damn class. Come on, man. Come on, man. I can't. But thank you guys for showing up for my 2024 upcoming movies that I am excited for. Well, my 10 that I am most excited for, and then just some upcoming titles that will be on my radar. And we'll just do the TV shows. I was thinking for a minute. We'll just do the upcoming 2024 TV shows that I'm looking forward to. Tomorrow, I will be doing I'm supposed to do it right after this, but yeah, child, forget that. We'll just do it tomorrow, okay? So it'll be my top 10 upcoming 2024 TV shows that I'm most looking forward to. And then I just tack on 2 extra TV shows that is on my radar. So that is what we will be doing tomorrow. So make sure you show up, make sure you support, make sure you hit like, and I will see you tomorrow.